I am Gavin Turk, and I am sitting in an exhibition in London. Alighiero Boetti is an Italian artist who starts his career in the 60s and goes through the 70s, working in a material way, using sort of steel grids and using wood and making kind of interactive artworks. His work became more and more sort of mathematically inclined and more distant and textual, i.e. involved in text. His work does influence other artists, and I think that in that sense it's important. The point where Boetti's work really shifted on was actually where he went to Afghanistan and he then employed people to make embroideries for him, and was able then to get into a very kind of poetic and kind of literary and conceptual space with his work. This work is called Order, Disorder, which relates to a work by Boetti. There's different styles of embroidery that are going on, and that's because all the embroideries were just done by different people. I suppose the disorder is something to do with the way that it's not a constant repeat. The 3x3 grid is possible because my name, Gavin Turk, actually fits nicely into a 9-square grid. I think sometimes with art, like there is this sense that crafted things or things that are made or fabricated by hand and made where they sort of expose their making and they almost like expose their limitations are almost lower down on the kind of craft hierarchy than something that is kind of perfectly made. I think there's something about that in the Boetti work as well, which he's working with. He also worked with his name as a kind of form of content. At one point he splits his name into Alighiero Boetti, so he becomes like a Christian name as one kind of cultural identity, and then a surname as another kind of cultural identity. The title of the show is Gavin and Turk. It's actually Gavin Anthersan Turk. And so what happens is that the anthersan does look a little bit like an E, which in Italian obviously means and. But an anthersan also is a sort of hierarchied form of conjunction between the Gavin and the Turk. For me, it felt a little bit like a banner under which you might create a market. It seemed to like start the ball rolling with this questioning of how were these two characters, Gavin and Turk, how were they bringing their stuff, their goods to the market.